I was pretty young in the industry in 2008, but Brent, you're a seasoned vet, so I know you went through '08, and I know RMDs were hurting a lot of people because they were forced to take money out at low market prices. So this is incredible. I'm glad they learned their lesson from then. Um, Nothing else other to say than what a great rule.
Yeah, I think really why this helps is because for those who don't know, I mean, right now would be a bad time to sell shares of stocks if you had to in your IRA to get your required minimum distribution out because on December 31st, your required minimum distribution is calculated. And when they calculated last year at the end of the year, the distribution amounts that a person would have to take out this year, the market was so high that these distribution amounts that people are having to take out are high. And to get that amount of money out of your IRA would force you to sell a lot of stock. And a lot of people at this point just want to hold all of their shares that they own, whether it's in stocks and bonds and so forth, in order to allow the market to recover and come back up. So I think it is a very favorable rule for people and it's very helpful. Some people, it may not impact that much, but it is a long-term benefit. I mean, if you inherited an IRA, this is great. Just let the money continue to defer for another year and you don't have to take it out. So I think, like you said, Matthew, they did learn from 2008. And this is a thing that I think they picked up on from the last big decline. And I think this is very helpful for those. What happens if you lost your job, Matt?
So if you lost your job, the first thing that's going to happen is they expanded unemployment insurance. So they made it longer, they made the check size bigger, and they expanded the eligibility. So massive win there. Um, you will get this is kind of cool, and I believe Josh, you correct me if I'm wrong, but the pandemic unemployment insurance that's for 1099 workers, people who normally wouldn't qualify for unemployment are now qualified. So that's huge, right? Uber drivers, Lyft drivers, Task Rabbits, kind of that new 1099 economy is covered under this because a lot of those people are hurting right now.
I think
Uh,
that's the good one. I was just gonna confirm that. Yes, that's correct, and just a great provision that was added.
and then also they cut the waiting period. So previously there's a waiting period for unemployment. And the reason they did it this way is so people would be incentivized to go find a job fast if they were laid off. But they cut that payment down, and when you're unemployed, when you apply, you'll get a check that week or a backdated check, which is also really, really nice. Um, like I said, it's going to be bigger. It's been bumped up by $600 a week, uh, and we added 4 extra months of benefits. So really, really, really nice for people who are hurting. I'm sure this will get expanded more. It did in 2008, and I believe that it was almost 2 years of unemployment you got in 2008. I expect to see something like that again this time.
So basically, if people are out of their job, they're going to be able to obviously get unemployment and they're going to get the extra stimulus. And the hope is that this will carry them long enough for the economy to get back working, jobs to get back, and then people to start making regular money again. This will allow them to continue to pay their bills.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
The other question I think that a lot of people have is what about all the student loans that are out there that are very difficult to pay right now?
Yeah, another part of the CARES Act is that federal student loan payments are deferred, so there'll be no required payments until September 30th, 2020. And also, there's going to be no interest accrual during the interim. So you're not going to actually see interest accruing through that period of deferment. So just another benefit from the CARES Act for people who do have federal student loans that don't have the means to pay them in the short term. You can, again, defer those payments and not required to make a payment until September on there. One thing that I thought was important inside of there too is that it's still, the time frame will still count towards the loan forgiveness programs. So if you are enrolled in a loan forgiveness program, those deferment or that time from now until September will still count towards that program, which is a pretty good benefit to that change. Any required payments are suspended, but voluntary payments can still be made. So if you still say, your goal is to pay down student loans and I do have the means to pay them, you can still pay them. They're still allowing you to do voluntary payments.
Yeah, one thing on the loan forgiveness I was reading, I don't know if you read it this way too, Josh, was actually if you are in a loan forgiveness program, your best play is to actually call and get payments stopped right now. Call your federal loan service provider, get the payment stopped, because in a way you don't have to technically pay for these, 3 or 4 months, and you're still going to get the forgiveness in your loan program.
Correct. Yep.
But this is a nice one for people who again are suffering right now. Biggest kind of misunderstanding I hear right now is people saying, oh, the federal government is forgiving people with student loans. That's not what's happening here at all. It's just a couple months where you're not making a payment.
And not being charged interest, but yeah, no forgiveness in there.
Finally, I believe there were some changes also to charitable contributions. What were some of those changes, Matt?
So they made a few changes here. This is going to be some tax lingo, but they added above the line charitable contributions. Unfortunately though, here the limit's only $300. I'm really not sure why they did it this way. Josh, maybe you have something to add. It also must be made in cash and has to go to a 501c3 organization. So you can't use some of those fun backdoor charities that a lot of people do. 501c3 is essentially what I would call a real charity. One nice thing is it is available for people who don't itemize. I was kind of confused with this one. Wasn't really sure what they were trying to accomplish. I don't know, Josh, if you have any different feelings.
No, it's not very much of a big benefit, because I mean $300 for someone in a 12% tax bracket is only a savings of really dollars, and so for someone that's in a very, very high tax bracket, even a 35% tax bracket at $300, the most they'd be saving is about $111. So there's not too much of a benefit. I think the only one thing that I read in there that was kind of nice was that they didn't really have an end date to that provision, so potentially it stays on that tax return going forward for future years. So a little savings every year going forward is going to be nice, but I just didn't see a lot there. There wasn't a lot of meat to that provision.
I wonder if they forgot a zero.
Yeah.
And there's a typo, and then it's oh no, it's 300, but we really meant 3,000 or something like that. But who knows?
Right. Yeah, that one's kind of didn't catch my eye as as big as the other ones did.
Well, thank you for listening to the Retirement Plan Playbook. I'm Brent Pasqua. I was here with Matthew Thiel and Joshua Winterswijk. If you enjoyed our show and want more information, please go to the retirementplanplaybook.com for the show notes and for more detail. You can also leave us a review on our podcast. And if you are a business owner, please tune in to the next episode. We are going to discuss the CARES Act and how it impacts business owners. But we thank you for listening, and we wish you a very safe and healthy great one. Talk to you soon.